Hi, I'm Geneva Solomon.
Hi, I'm Jonathon Solomon, and welcome to RedStone Firearms.
Originally, from a personal perspective, I got into firearms after a domestic situation where I was getting a divorce. And I went to a gun store that was local out here in the valley and didn't have the greatest experience buying a firearm. But ultimately, that is how I ended up with my first experience getting into firearms. What about you?
I started shooting when I was 5. Started competition shooting at 6. From that point forward, I've always been into firearms. Sure did.
You sure did. It was more so, hey, are you spooked by guns? And I was like, absolutely not. I have my own. And it was kind of like a match made in heaven. Our wedding photo is actually the Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but the Mr. and Mrs. Solomon holding firearms. And this is way before we knew that we would have a firearm store. It's important to have self-defense in your home for a number of reasons. One, especially if you're a single mother or if you're a single woman, you can't rely on 911 as your only source of protection, because the response time of, let's for example say LAPD or the Los Angeles County Sheriff's is what, 4 minutes minimum?
Yeah.
And when you're at the fight of your life or in the fight of your life, 4 minutes is a very long time. And I know that some people say, well, I could hide in a closet, I could grab a knife, but what if you're not a fighting woman? What if you're not a fighting man and 2 or 3 people come in your house? What is going to be that great equalizer? It's going to be a person that is trained with the firearm. Not the firearm in itself, but the person who's trained with the firearm. And if you want to take it a step further, being prepared for natural disasters.
Right. Prepping. Using your firearm for defensive purposes, especially home invasion, carjacking, etc.
So one of the things that we like to tell people, our motto is consulting, educating, and training. A moment ago I said when I went into a gun store, it was take a number and they were like, what gun do you want? And there was no sort of guidance. What we do here is we take it from the very beginning. The first class is not even selling you a gun. It's more so teaching you the laws here in California and what that means to own a gun, the 6 fundamental safety rules of firearm ownership. We teach you how to load and unload a firearm as well as a shotgun. And then after that, we give you a test and then issue you your firearm safety certificate. And then we invite you out to one of our range days, because we have a club where we go out and we teach you how to actually shoot.
We also provide range training, handgun cleaning classes, rifle cleaning classes, prepping classes, basically anything that you need to prepare yourself and your family, along with the firearm itself. We provide classes for it.
As well as selling firearms and accessories.
Of course, yeah.
It's important for people in our community to understand the importance of the firearm and how it relates to our history and how we fought for some of our civil rights, and ultimately how some gun control laws have been passed to keep firearms out of the hands of people in the Black and African American communities. If you go back to the Black Panthers, and although people thought of them as a militant group, they were very much so about civil rights and fighting for your rights. And then we saw the biggest measure in California where we were no longer allowed to have open carry of firearms. There's a ton of laws that have passed recently, especially medical marijuana, that can prevent you from now owning a firearm. It's up there with felony. What are some of the other laws that have been
domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
Child support. If you have back child support, you're not able to purchase a firearm without paying it back. Child support, etc. It's quite a few things.
It's quite a few things.
Yeah.
And so it's important for us to understand our history of firearms and not be so easily moved by when you hear gun control. We need more gun control, because that ultimately is taking your right away to defend your family at the end of the day. And I think people should be a little bit more proactive in studying the history of the firearm. If you go back to the tradition of arms, if you read Negroes with Guns and study Robert F. Williams, you'll understand why they were big advocates for owning firearms and protecting your families. Again, talking about the fact that we consult, educate, and train. The education and the training we provide once a month at our range days in Angeles Crest, Fortunately, we're a contracted group with Angeles Crest, so we have our own private range. We do not like to shoot indoors. We like realistic scenarios, and we shoot outdoors. And at that, because we like to put you under high stress, in the event you're fighting for your life, your heart rate is going to be up. And so we like to put you through those type of drills where your heart rate is up, you're out of breath, and you still have to be able to make that shot. We have a group on Meetup where we have those dates listed for all of 2019, as well as if you look on our website at redstonefirearms.com and click on classes, you'll see all of our range dates once a month as well. You can find us on social media at instagram.com at RedStone Firearms and see our classes as I announce them often, as well as Facebook on RedStone Firearms, and we announce our classes there as well.
Also, our second location will be open at 1128 West Mission Boulevard, and that's Ontario, California.
And we'll be hosting our grand opening party on Black Friday weekend. Hope to see you there.